Welcome to the Tech This Out podcast. I'm your host, Walt Maciborski. And if you are a startup, you're in the VC world, you are a founder, you're part of innovation teams in a Fortune 500 company, you need to know my next guest. His name is Saeed Amidi. He is the founder of Plug and Play Tech Center. Now, he has 70 locations worldwide and growing every day. There's a new startup happening in a city around the world almost weekly. And he's also connected to startups around the world, 95,000 startups and counting. And you name a Fortune 500 company and a CEO, Saeed Amidi knows him. And they are making relationships and fostering innovation around the world. Right now, the focus is on AI, and we're going to talk about that. Meet my next guest, Saeed Amidi. Thank you so much for joining me.
It's great to join you, Walt, and it's great to see you again here near to my heart at Austin and Cedar Park.
You know, for people who don't know, how would you describe Plug and Play?
Lately, we call Plug and Play the largest innovation platform in the world because we do multiple things. Like yesterday, I launched an office at Texas A&M with Chancellor John Sharp. So we work with universities and we can, for example, 5x the amount of technology startups that come out of a university as great as Texas A&M. Then with corporation like Walmart, Coca-Cola, Visa, we help them in scouting innovation and technology. The hottest buzzword is how can you use AI to increase productivity by 50%. So with this large corporation, over 580 of the Fortune 1000 in the world, because we do this in Japan, Germany, as well as US, we help scouting not a lot of technology companies, but the best 5 AI companies in the world that can solve a specific problem. And we are opening, for example, 10 new AI Center of Excellence around the world. If you and your audience are interested, I can tell you about the last 3.
Yes, let me start from the beginning a little bit.
Yes.
2006, you launched Plug and Play. And you come out of the gate pretty strong with some unicorns like PayPal and others. How many unicorns? Like 30 unicorns in the portfolio now and counting? And I'm sure some are brewing now. But was this always the vision? Or did you say, you know what, let's see what we've got here and see what happens?
So life, it's good to be at the right location at the right time and then get lucky. So I was in University Avenue, about 500 yards from Stanford University, where I started my day job, which is in packaging and bottled water. And because of the location, I became in touch with PayPal, who Peter Thiel came to rent space from us. But we had the wisdom to also invest in PayPal. And then later on, we had Andy Rubin, who did Android, be our tenant. And his first mobile startup, which was called Sidekick Danger, we gave him his first $400,000 seed round. And then even though we were not super successful, he sold it to Microsoft for $500 million.
It's a good investment.
So, yes. And then we had Dropbox when they were 2 people, Drew and Arash. But we were at the right place, right mindset that, you know, even though we had traditional businesses like packaging and bottled water, I used to do about 5 angel investing per year. ranging from 50,000 to 400,000.
You and your team, you would
Yeah,
look for
me
opportunity.
and my actually brother. And quite frankly, like when we invested 100K in Dropbox and we got 36 million back, we said maybe our hobby is better than our day job. And that was the nucleus of why we started Plug and Play. Because I said, if in this small building on University Avenue, we have companies like Logitech, I'm not Dropbox, never moved in, but Google, PayPal. I said, my God, what about if it's a big building? And now we have over 380 startups in our headquarters in Sunnyvale. And in a smaller scale, I would love to repeat that in Texas, in Cedar Park, in Frisco, in College Station, and in Sugar Land, in Houston, and all around the world, including Texas, which is a pretty big place.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. You know, you have 95,000 startups in your ecosystem, which is mind-blowing. But tell me about your Texas footprint. Why Texas? We are a prideful state, and we think we know why, but why did you identify Texas as an opportunity? And I covered your first silo in Cedar Park, and that was the beginning about 2 years ago, but you've really blown up since then. So tell me about your Texas footprint.
So, I'm in Sunnyvale, California. You could say almost the heart of Silicon Valley.
Sure.
You know, Google, Apple, Facebook, ChatGPT, all are there. So I was planning that everybody who would like to work with Plug and Play should come and see me, which actually they did for about 15 years. But COVID kind of put a stop in travel. And I realized that my office in Munich or Paris or Stuttgart or Tokyo is doing great during COVID. Mainly, I realized this hub and spoke works better. But in US, I was expecting everybody to come and see me. And apparently, some of the large corporations, some of the startups, some of the VCs would like to create their own ecosystem. So I had 57 offices around the world, but I had only 3 in US. One our headquarters, one in Bentonville because of Walmart, one in Topeka, Kansas because of Cargill. But right now I am on a journey to open up 100 offices in US.
I don't know if you live on caffeine or what, because every time I go onto LinkedIn or something, you're in New Jersey, you're in Florida, you're in Nebraska. I mean, you are all over the place. And just looking at Texas, you know, I'm excited to see what you're doing. So you have a fintech silo, you have a sports tech silo. You just opened Texas A&M, which will look at military and defense tech. You know, we have Houston and Sugar Land. You know, we have so much medical there. And one name that you didn't bring up, which I'm sure is on your radar somewhere, San Antonio. So tell me about
Texas.
Yeah, and you know, you're launching a big part of real estate in Frisco soon.
That's right. So, in fact, in Frisco, on I believe is 19th of May, we will move to our permanent office, which is at the headquarters of Dallas Cowboys. And again, it's a new project. It's 6 months old, but we have a very extensive health practice. But what we would like to do in Frisco to improve the longevity of professional athletes by helping them be healthier, both physically, mentally, and financially. And we feel if we can do that with professional athletes like FC Dallas, as well as PGA is there, the golf people, as well as Dallas Cowboys.
That little football
company,
team.
yes, the Jones family. We feel if we can do this with professional athletes, then we would like to move to college athletes and then to high schools. Because I believe when an entrepreneur, and I love athletes, entrepreneurs, because they focus on something, they become the best in the world at it. And we feel that same characteristic works for a startup, that they have to become the best at it. But we feel like in Texas, going back to Texas, we will have 10 offices
Wow.
by the end of next year. San Antonio is on the map.
Okay.
Believe it or not, even though we have Frisco and McKinney, but we are considering opening a health vertical in Fort Worth. Again, with Texas A&M, they are having a health university downtown Fort Worth. But my dream will be in San Antonio to do a AI Center of Excellence with USAA. If anybody from USAA is listening, please get me together with your CEO, because we opened in Hoboken, New Jersey, with Governor Murphy, Stevens Institute of Technology, and Prudential Insurance, AI Center of Excellence for InsurTech and Financial Services. We feel the productivity of the back office of a bank or an insurance company can be 2x.
Oh, yeah.
So with AI, and we have proven it with some of the AI companies we have taken to New York and New Jersey from California.
You know, you have special relationships with startups. They know who you are, they know your leverage, and they know that you can get them seen and get them money if they have a great idea. But you also have this incredible relationship with Fortune 500 companies, and you act as the bridge and you connect these two ecosystems. Companies are slow. They have paperwork and red tape. The startup is agile. They can move fast, make mistakes, and when the right formula happens, boom, you have a marriage. And you're right there in the center of that marriage. You're kind of like overseeing the ceremony. But I wanted to know about your relationships in Texas. How are you connected with the Dells, the Samsungs, and the Oracles?
Very good. You know, the most precious thing in life is time.
Mm.
So if you are dealing with Evan Goldberg, the CEO of NetSuite, who happens to be like a golf buddy of mine from Sharon Heights Country Club, you have to be effective if you introduce an AI startup to him. So the most important thing is we just don't do matchmaking. We bring the right technology at the right time to solve the right problem. And, you know, like, give you an example, we took an AI company called Platform Science from Los Angeles to Walmart. Walmart installed this AI route optimization at the edge with their 14,000 trucks that they control. And the feedback was they save $200 million per year. So they saved the money, they save pollution because the trucks are 5% more efficient, and they save the driver's time. So if you have a couple of success stories with US Bank, with Prudential, with USAA, we've been co-investing for 10 years, but I would love to take the relationship much farther and have an AI Center of Excellence in San Antonio.
Well, you know, you have the military there. They're doing incredible things in San Antonio. But I want to ask you about the infrastructure, the ecosystem. You know, we have brilliant minds here. We have a lot of innovators and visionaries. We have universities. We have medical centers. But the livability is great too. People want to be in Texas. Is that the right formula for plug and play success, say in San Antonio, for an AI center of excellence?
Yes, if I can share with you, I think it was about less than a year ago when Governor Abbott and myself met. And quite frankly, the people in Texas have done great. The tax system is incredible. The land you have and the wealth you have in oil and gas doesn't hurt either. But the reality is you have everything it takes. Like Texas A&M has about 190,000 students in their 11 campuses. Just in College Station alone, they have 85,000 people. They have 26,000 engineering school, Texas A&M has. We would love to produce minimum 100 technology startups per year out
100?
of Texas A&M.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, and I promised Governor Abbott I will have 10 offices in Texas, and we will accelerate or help 300 startups per year before the end of next year, and we will invest in 30 per year. And what I would love to announce here with you, Walt, nowadays, similar to my office in New Jersey or the one I just opened at University of Washington in Seattle, we also put a fund, venture fund, on our top of our platform. So for Texas, where we're going to have 10 offices and do 30 investment per year, this is from plug and play balance sheet. I also would like to propose that we will have $100 million first fund. It's going to be plug and play Texas fund, and we would only invest in startups in Texas.
Wow.
So I have a big plan for Texas. I quite jokingly say my second biggest country after US is Japan, and the third one is Germany. So I consider Texas the next Japan or the next Germany.
Yes.
And we have done it before in many, many locations. And I must share with the audience, I have never felt so welcomed in my life. As an Iranian American immigrant, I thought, let's say, I might have some challenges, but Governor Abbott, Chancellor John Sharp, they say to me, Saeed, just tell us what you need, we'll get it done. So thank you for that. Thank you for that for all the Texans.
Well, they love to hear that. We're all about family, football, and business, I know you have some high-level meetings today, and I want to ask you a few more questions before you go. One of the frustrations here is that we've great innovation. We've got the universities, everything like that, but the money still seems to be on the West Coast and the East Coast. And that's the one thing that Texas is looking to, say, hey, we're here, we got innovation, we got everything we need, we just need more venture capitalists. And what you just announced is going to be a big shot in the arm for that, which is exciting. But I want to talk about some fun stuff. You're a car guy, and you light up every time you talk about Frankfurt and Mercedes-Benz. And those are some of the funnest stories. What's your relationship with, all your silos? But it seems like you have fun when you're meeting with the people that are running these offices around the world.
Yes, Mercedes, the CEO, Ola, is a good friend of mine. And anytime you're on text with the CEO of, Fortune 500, that is pretty interesting. About last February, he delivered me a Mercedes car, electric, autonomous level 4, and I got really excited. So actually, Philip, the CEO of Mercedes America, delivered it to Plug and Play. I will send you a picture when they delivered it. And I enjoy that relationship.
Sure.
I thought it's a gift. But then a week later, they asked for it back and they told me, Saeed, can you please tell us, because I've been driving Tesla for 11 years. So then I said, how do you like this? And I must say, it is like 5 times more comfortable than Tesla. And so I had to pay for having the car for a week by answering like 100 questions for an hour.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, these big corporations need innovation, need technology, and they are big. Mercedes has 70,000 engineers, and they cannot keep up with the speed of change. Electrification, autonomous, connected car. People expect to do shopping in their car in the future as it becomes autonomous.
It's crazy,
so
I know.
we help large corporations like this to navigate if the startup, which is like Glean, which is one of our AI startup, just raised $600 million at $6 billion valuation. We call them a startup, but quite frankly, that is a pretty big company. But be surprised. Some of the people in Germany and Japan don't know Glean. So we actually, Arvin, the CEO, who is a friend of mine, we have a arrangement with him that anywhere I open an AI center of excellence, he and his team come and present to the top 10 conglomerates in that region. And I love ChatGPT or Copilot from Microsoft, but I'm telling you, for enterprise customers, Glean is the solution.
That's exciting.
And I like to be able to take my top 20 AI companies to San Antonio for USAA, and then take them to Frisco for Dallas Cowboys. And I'm sort of like a traveling salesman.
Well, you seem to be having fun. You said you had top 3. What were your top 3?
Top 3 AI companies. You know, one of them, it's called Turing. And Turing is not a common household name, but they train models. So their biggest customer is Google, Google Cloud, ChatGPT, Sam Altman company, Anthropic. So I feel more and more like the big solution always will be the big models like ChatGPT. But to solve a specific risk management problem or cybersecurity problem for a financial institution, it's better to have a smaller model focused on one task.
Yeah.
It will take less power, less compute, and a better result.
Super focused, yeah.
Yes.
You know, Austin-based Aptronic is working with Mercedes now. They're humanoid robots, which was a huge contract for our startup here. They're now a unicorn. I want to ask you about Summit. You know, I went to Summit and I was told a lot of things, but when I got there, I couldn't believe it. There were 3,000 people. I don't know how many startups, maybe 300 plus. You had the presentations down to the minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, boom. I also got the announcement there that Waymo was going to be autonomous in the fall in Austin. I talked to, you know, the people, Banfield, I forgot what her name was, but she said that they would be starting here in the fall. That happened. So what was happening at Summit? You were actually breaking news. You were also introducing the world to a bunch of people. I did a feature on a Korean company that does tire pressure monitoring, which was fascinating. But tell me about Summit, and why did you do it, and what's the goal, and what comes out of it?
So we have 2 summits per year. One is in June 10th, 11th, and 12th. You're all welcome. And one is in November. And as you mentioned, this coming June, we are featuring 340 AI companies.
Wow.
Each vertical, like for fintech and insurtech and enterprise AI, we will be featuring 90 of the best companies in the world. Glean and Turing and Workera will be there. But other than these billion-dollar companies, we also featuring the newcomers that are only worth 500 million. But we feel, again, going back to solving specific problem, we launched the AI Center of Excellence at University of Washington with SBI, the largest research institute of Japan, for drug discovery and pharma. So we feel the technologies that will solve AI for pharma, something like Garden Health, which we funded about 8 years ago, 2 PhDs out of Stanford in genome technology. Now it's a darling of cancer, solutions. So we feel for cancer, you have to have a specific results. And I invite everybody to the summit because about half of the startups are from US, but half of them we bring from all the best startup out of Japan, the best startup out of Korea, the best startup out of Israel.
Yeah.
And we all come together for 3 days, and each vertical, like aerospace and defense, will be our biggest launch this summer because of our office opening in College Station, aerospace and defense. And we also love to do aerospace and defense in San Antonio. We are already doing it to some extent in Florida, in Orlando with SpaceX, Blue Origin, and other, NASA is also there. So we just kind of embrace what is happening on the ground, and we add a layer of entrepreneurship and excitement on top of it.
Excitement for sure. Thank you so much for joining me in the Tech This Out studios. Anything I didn't ask or you think is important to say?
No, again, if I had to say something, I wanted to thank Governor Abbott, Chancellor John Sharp. I had the pleasure of meeting Ross Perot Jr. at the UP Summit. So we have big dreams for Texas, and I look forward to all the help I can get to make it happen.
Saeed, Amidi, thank you so much. What a great conversation. I wish you great success in Texas, and we're excited that you're here.
Thank you so much. I feel so welcomed, and thank you so much. And please bring a delegation to the summit.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here on YouTube Live. This has been Tech This Out with Walt Maciborski, and we'll see you soon.